Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal, the
Really?
architect of a horrific genocide against the Palestinian people.
I don't know if you guys recall, but back when Mamdani was running for mayor, he aura farmed a little bit and suggested that he would arrest Netanyahu should he have the opportunity to do so. The problem being, obviously, the mayor of New York City, or in fact any mayor, does not actually have the ability to legally arrest a foreign head of state. I know. The closest that Mamdani could ever reasonably get would be NYPD police brutality at a traffic stop. You know what I mean? Like Netanyahu does a California stop at a four-way intersection, and the NYPD roll up and beat the shit out of him, turn off their cams. That's the closest we could get to, an ICC tribunal.
He is responsible for the killing of more than 73,000 people,
Probably a bit more than
for
that.
the maiming of tens of thousands of children, as those who survive undergo amputation without anesthesia, for the targeting of neonatal hospitals and maternity care centers, denying newborns even the chance to live, for the countless people he starved as he blocked food and humanitarian aid from reaching them, for the gunning down of hundreds of aid workers and journalists. And just last month, the UN confirmed that Palestinian children continue to be deliberately targeted and killed by Israeli armed forces, more than 8 months after the so-called ceasefire. The list goes on and on, all as we, as Americans, pay for the bombs that do the killing. There is a reason the International Criminal Court issued a warrant for his arrest. As human beings, we have spent generations building a shared understanding that there are crimes so grave, they offend all of humanity. Anyone.
Crazy he's like the only guy who will talk like this when most Democrats in the country agree with this word for word, you know?
With their eyes, with their heart, with their conscience, should recognize the devastation he has wrought and understand that he belongs before a court of law. As I've said, I agree with the ICC that Benjamin Netanyahu should be arrested and tried for his crimes, as I do for anyone else charged by the ICC.
What about
My
him?
administration has reviewed every avenue available under applicable law to determine whether New York City could execute the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant if Benjamin Netanyahu came here. It is clear that we do not have the independent legal authority to enforce this warrant. The federal government, however, does, and I call on them to join the ICC and execute this warrant.
So I feel like the immediate impulse here is to be like, dude, Trump's not going to arrest Netanyahu. Obviously he won't. What he's actually doing, and I think this is pretty smart and pretty reasonable, is he's setting a standard for the next Dem president. Mamdani has turned out to be quite popular. He's going to remain popular, I imagine. He's drawing a line in the sand. He's creating a litmus test. He's essentially saying, like, this is the line for the acceptable position. If you fall short of it, this is a mark on you, you know? The next Democratic president must push for adjoining, for the U.S. to be a signatory in the ICC and for Mamdani's arrest. It must happen, you know? Of course, he does not have the ability to independently do this as a mayor, but he does have the social power to direct the Democratic Party this way, which, I mean, he's the closest thing the Democratic Party has to a celebrity right now. Mamdani's arrest? What did I say? Did I say mayor's arrest? What did I say? I misspoke. You can probably figure out what I was trying to say. I don't even know what you people sound crazy. But yeah, no, he's setting a standard.
And I want to be equally clear. Benjamin Netanyahu is not welcome in New York City, nor is any
You meant Bibi's arrest? Oh.
other war criminal at large. While we cannot end the genocide on our own, we can decide whether our silence will become another weapon, and we can examine every tool we have to defend the humanity and dignity of all people. That is my commitment to you.
True. With how closely he works with AOC, she's going to be the first to say she'll arrest him. Yeah, we'll see about that. I still worry about her. Her problem is that she's weak. She's not the only one who's been talking with Mamdani. Newsom and Harris have both talked to him as well. Kiss the ring, bend the knee. Damn, man, 55 million views. Hong big dog in the primary. It's DSA summer. You see Jon Stewart was defending the DSA on Monday? No, I did not. I did not see that. Though it's not really surprising to me that Jon Stewart would say that. You know, the big ideological leaders in the Democratic Party are going to move the party leftward because the Democratic Party center doesn't really have any drive, initiative, or vision for the future, you know? Like, it doesn't really matter how popular he is. Obama doesn't really represent an ideological future for the party. Obama has remained genuinely, like, hands off for the most part. Obviously, he's meddled in elections to promote centrists, but you know, for the most part, he doesn't really represent an ideological line forward because he's more interested in celebritydom than he is in actual leadership. If the only people willing to speak up and like deliver, you know, what the Democratic people want to hear, what the constituency wants to hear are DSA types, then the DSA types are going to be the ones with the outsized influence. Hassan has said Obama should play kingmaker in primaries, endorsing progressives. The funny thing is that, you know, you would think that Obama, who is a fucking narcissist piece of shit, would be more interested in propping up progressives purely as a spite gesture towards the Clintons. The Clintons are awful, and Obama doesn't like them either. I'm surprised. At least there's an incentive there. Like Obama could disingenuously front the progressive cause as a way of spiting them, but nah, he's spiteful towards progressives too. Spiteful piece of shit, man. I really don't like Obama. It's better than the Clintons. Obama's still subservient to Israel? Wrong. He's actually like the one Dem president who hasn't been, if you can believe it. Why do you think Obama isn't? Because I think he's just interested in celebritydom. That's it. I think that Obama understands that if he keeps his mouth shut right now, he gets to spend the rest of his life as like the perfect Democratic president. Even though he didn't get like nearly enough done, and he you know, didn't go after the Wall Street bankers, and you know, the ACA was a cut down right-wing version of a healthcare fix, and so on and so forth. You know, he blew through like a House and Senate majority, did nothing with it, etc., etc. I think he just wants to be known as like the one good president before everything fell apart. You know that for the rest of his life he's going to be viewed that way, right? His popularity right now, his approval ratings indicate that. For he will be remembered forever as like the last stable American president before the era of Trump, far right populism, etc., etc. Total disingenuous title. I mean, of course, he led us here. Why does Obama not like Israel? Nobody likes Israel. Nobody interacts with Netanyahu or that fucking country and comes away with a positive impression. It's entirely manufactured. That's why he refuses to deny anything on Haley Stevens disingenuously supporting or suggesting Obama endorsed her. It's just he knows that any like direct engagement with politics now is going to invite people to look at him more critically, you know? God, imagine Obama coming out for fucking Haley Stevens. Jesus Christ. Now Haley got called out for that by Obama. Mamdani on Tuesday night challenged the federal government to execute an international arrest warrant against Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel, calling him a war criminal and the architect of a horrific genocide against the Palestinian people. Yippee. It's just going to be like a text from the video. Mamdani was denounced by Mr. Netanyahu's office, who said he should focus on fixing the damage his policies have caused New York. Mamdani appears oh, they're so fucking mad that Israel didn't win the mayoral election, dude. Israel threw everything they had at Mamdani and it didn't stick. They're so fucking mad about it. Jesus Christ. Mamdani appears interested in diverting public attention from his follies and attacking the leader of the Jewish state and the only democracy in the Middle East. Blah, 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 blah. Didn't they say Mamdani should be arrested? They were like, you can't arrest Netanyahu. You should arrest Mamdani. They said that just a couple of days ago. You did? Well, I heard it first from Israel. Ah, yes, the UN ambassador. It's so cool how bad their political instincts are, you know? Like, every single Israeli rep seems to have not yet gotten the message that they're universally despised and this rhetoric doesn't work anymore. And also, like, you're really not beating the allegations that you have outsized influence in American politics when you say shit like, actually, Mamdani should be arrested. Maybe you should fix up the policies that have harmed New York that you caused, you know? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Browbeat, browbeat, browbeat. To your point about literally no one liking Israel, Biden was caught in a hot mic saying Bibi needs a come to Jesus moment. What? Oh, this is from 2024. I'm pretty sure we saw this on stream.
Don't worry, Mr. This is one of the great speeches. I was telling your secretary, you know, I was in Jordan and Israel this weekend, and we just, you know, we gotta keep pushing what you're doing on the humanitarian stuff and all this stuff. So I told maybe so many people, I said, maybe you know, come to sir, just
It makes him look so fucking weak for the president of the United States to be like, you gotta dial it in, bucko. Not that we should ever take Biden's moral instincts on Israel seriously. The other day, this piece from the New Yorker came out, this pathetic, whinging, backpedaling effort from people who knew what they were doing at the time was wrong, but still waited far, far too long to speak up. How Biden enabled Israel's aggression towards Gaza and Iran. Top officials from the previous administration now express regret over their failure to rein in Netanyahu. Sorry. Little too late. Little too late on that one. Thank you, the New Yorker. Damn, they're popping the fuck off. Jake Sullivan, Biden's former national security advisor, told me Biden and his advisors had often privately debated ways to restrain Israel. Inside the Oval Office, Sullivan said, "We repeatedly raised and discussed options for withholding weapons, but excluding the suspension of one shipment of bombs, the president always deferred on that decision because we kept thinking we were close to getting a deal for a hostage release and ceasefire." Fuck off, dude. I genuinely don't know which narrative is worse. The idea that everyone in the Biden administration was a cynical, back-dealing asshole, or that they were really stupid enough to think that, like, oh, this is the red line Netanyahu will respect. And then, like, 50 crossed red lines later, they're like, maybe the 51st. They literally never tried to pressure Netanyahu. Well, the thing is, like, they did internally. It's just that Netanyahu always got what he wanted. So, like, it's worse. It makes it feel worse, you know? It's more reflective of the problem with the Democratic Party anyway, you know? The Democratic Party is filled with people who are at least somewhat, if not guided by, at least, like, marginally influenced by something resembling a moral instinct, but it's a combination of, like, patronage politics, seniority privilege, and just absolute spinelessness getting in the way every time. Every time there is potentially a good decision being made in the head of a Democratic staffer, it's almost immediately buried in this avalanche of cynical bullshit, weakness, and indecisiveness that prevents them from actually doing anything. So fucking dumb. Didn't Obama and Biden get in an argument over Obama falling through on a red line threat against Israel during his time? Yeah, I think I remember that. Why would Netanyahu be interested in a deal with an unpopular president on his way out of the White House? Look, okay, anyone with any political sense whatsoever could have seen that if Biden had actually tried holding Netanyahu's feet to the fire, Netanyahu would have just, like, stonewalled him. Which is why it's so convenient for us that we are the global superpower and Israel is the backwater police state in the middle of a genocide, you know? That's why it's, like, super cool. We're actually on the front foot here, you know? We're not actually equals. We have a enormous advantage over Israel in every empirical sense a nation can have an advantage over another. But our leaders are spineless, or just evil. Like, Biden's evil and spineless, so it's kind of a, you know, so blend here. Like, look at this. Are we seriously supposed to believe this shit? What's worse? I don't even know. Biden's Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, anxiously asked his staff how Israel could justify this scale of destruction. A senior State Department official told me, quote, "We were all shocked at how aggressive and deadly it was and asking what the fuck are they doing?" This makes you look worse. This makes you look worse. Dog, it doesn't just make you look evil and weak. It makes you look fucking stupid. Like Adolf Hitler over there, Jitler. You're like a mouth open, jaw agape. How could he do the Hitler thing nonstop for decades? That's crazy. I mean, pardon me for not wanting to stereotype. You know, I didn't think that having done the Hitler thing 5 million times before would necessarily mean he'd do it 5 million and one times. Are all trying to figure out who did this. It's just fucking embarrassing. Mamdani calls for Netanyahu's arrest. Democrats take note. Remember when Blinken tweeted out the day after October 7th? I think they call it October 8th, calling for a ceasefire only to pathetically delete it shortly after. I actually don't remember that. Hold on. Anthony Blinken deleted tweet ceasefire. Oh, yeah. U.S. Secretary of State, I mean, one of the most powerful diplomats on earth, deleting tweets because he's afraid of getting called like an anti-Semite over not wanting mass Arab death. Insane? Yeah. Fucking embarrassing, dog. So embarrassing. We're never getting out of here. What is this, reel? Somebody linked a reel. A reel? An Instagram reel? What the kids are using these days? Instagram reel. I don't even know what a reel is. What is this? Hello?
Some Jewish groups have noted that in your video,
NBC New York.
Some Jewish groups have noted that in your video, you didn't include a reference to October 7th or Hamas.
I'm sorry. Is she filming herself with the selfie cam while talking to Mamdani at the press conference so that she can later post a video of her
leaders who carried out that attack. And it's not easy always to pin you down on this subject, forgive me, but because there aren't many perfect analogies to draw. For instance, not all world leaders or alleged war criminals have ICC warrants, or they're not planning to come to the UN General Assembly, or perhaps they're dead. So my question is that, would you...
Who is this woman? A race baiter. It's insane how far this has gone along. I mean, I was talking about this a lot with Jasmine Crockett the other day, but past a point, the only consequence of this behavior is, like, people are just going to stop saying anti-Semitism is a bad thing. Like, Mamdani right now is being implicitly accused of anti-Semitism for saying he supports the arrest of all ICC criminals, and that America should be a signatory to the ICC. Like, that's it. Anyone who has an arrest warrant out from the ICC, he believes they should be arrested. And even this statement is being treated as like inflammation to anti-Semitism. The only consequence of this doesn't change anyone's mind. Browbeat. The only thing it does is, like, people are going to be like, okay, well, I guess anti-Semitism isn't real then. Like, if this is what anti-Semitism looks like, I guess it's not real then. Like, that's it. That's the only consequence of this. It's so insanely fucking cynical.
If circumstances were different, would you have vowed to arrest the leaders of Hamas who perpetrated...
Like, just gonna lay this one, no fucking shit. Yeah. If there were Hamas leaders who were had ICC arrest warrants and they were just walking around New York City, yeah. Fucking obviously. Which is an unbelievably stupid... Like, they do have ICC warrants? Then there you go. I don't know. I don't keep up with it. I mean, most of them are dead, I assume. Like, yeah, no shit. But, like, over here in reality, over here in the real world, Hamas leaders don't walk around freely in New York City, and Netanyahu goes wherever he wants. Well, not wherever he wants. There are ICC signatory nations that he refuses to fly over these days. But in America, he can go wherever he wants, unfortunately.
The October 7th attack if they were visiting New York? And if so, why not include something about that to show New Yorkers that, you know, you're presenting a more balanced approach?
Genuinely, just like an unfathomable degree of mental illness present here. What is the takeaway here is, like, what? All claims of anti-Semitism are fake. It's like they have burnt through so much political capital. It is insane. It is unbelievable how tone deaf they are.
Why not include that in your video?
Didn't the ICC put forward a warrant for Yahya Sinwar?
I mean, I know he's dead. Yeah.
So she doesn't even know. Like me, she doesn't even know. She's asking this question. She doesn't even know.
Yes, but my point is that they did. And in the video, I made very clear, as I have before, that my interest in executing that warrant is not specific to Benjamin Netanyahu, but to anyone who they put a warrant towards for war crimes and crimes against humanity. And part of that is...
Of course, the beast mode answer here is that Netanyahu is 1,000 times more evil than any Hamas leader, which is an empirically defensible statement. You could just count bodies to arrive at that conclusion. That's a relatively easy one. Yeah, obviously, Hamas leaders don't walk around New York freely. Obviously.
Reflection of a universal politics. And it is from a universal politics that I can look in October 7th and describe it for what it is, which is a horrific war crime. And I can also look at Benjamin Netanyahu and see the way that he has orchestrated this genocide and also deem him to similarly be a war criminal. And I think especially at a time when there are those in Washington who are discussing...
If I was Melissa, I would not have included his response. I would have just had the little, like, whingy selfie video of me asking the question in bad faith, and then I would have cut it there. Or I would have, like, edited his response, you know? Mamdani would be like, I love Hamas, you know? Cut it together.
Measures to take apart the international...
I don't understand why insignificant people like this lady do this, because they're bankrolled by, like, mega trillionaires. Well, not trillionaires, billionaires. But, like, genuinely, the majority of the world's wealthiest people are Zionists, not because they're Jewish supremacists or whatever. They don't care. Like Andrew Tate said, racism is for poor people, but because it's the chosen avatar of capital interests. Like, look at the Ellisons. These are people, they can buy and sell the world, but they're, like, fucking freaks about Israel, you know? There will always be... If you are a media talking head and you are willing to disingenuously evoke pro-Zionist sentiment as a way of covering for capital, you will always have a job. Always. It does not matter how bad you are at your job. Look at Bari Weiss. Bari Weiss has basically been made the fucking czar of CBS News, and she's terrible at her job. CBS News has dropped huge amounts of viewership, incredibly unpopular. Everyone's mad at her. It does not matter. She's still wealthy. She can still do whatever she wants. Her loyalty is the only thing she's paid for. The competence would be, if it existed, a nice little bonus.
Criminal court, what so many are looking for is a sense that there is, in fact, a rule of law across the world where there are crimes that are so grave that they offend all of humanity. And I believe that we should hold those who perpetrate them accountable, no matter who they are or where they're from. And when it comes to the ICC, they've put forward warrants, whether it's Yahya Sinwar, Benjamin Netanyahu, I think a few other members of the Israeli government. I believe that all of them should be honored.
Some Jewish groups.
Yippee. There you go. Yippee. Fucking freaks, dude.
Hey everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood deputy executive director, Benjamin. Today I'm here to talk about the 3 phone banks that we're running every single day for 4 amazing candidates. Let's talk about the 4 candidates. The first one, phone banking, where we're doing phone banking every day from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern, is for Salam Bati. He was on Vosh last week. He's pretty cool. He's a PV member. He's really nice. He's fun. He's in the server all the time. He actually shows up to the phone bank. So if you want to ask him questions or you want to meet him, you should come, progress.win/join. Join the phone banks and say hi. Starting immediately after that phone bank ends every day from 5 to 8 p.m. for 3 hours, we're doing joint phone banks for Michigan 7th candidate William Lawrence, one of the co-founders of the Sunrise Movement and person who actually helped us do the environmental policy on our PV pledge, and also for Michigan Senate, Abdul Al-Sayed, who I don't think I have to introduce. And then immediately, yeah, I've never heard it. I know so little of him, I actually mispronounced his name. Got you, chat. Immediately after that phone bank ends, there is 1 more hour of phone banking for Cori Bush, a former squad member who was ousted from Congress due to AIPAC. She's amazing. She actually, during COVID, slept on the steps of the Capitol for a few days to try and pressure Biden to continue the rent freeze. She's amazing. We need to get her back in Congress. So come join the phone banks. The phone banks every day, 3 p.m. Eastern, all the way to 9 p.m. Eastern for a myriad of amazing candidates, all the way till Election Day for the primaries on August 4th. Now, well, here's another one. Florida on August 9th. We're doing a big in-person Choose Your Fighter 2 in partnership with the Florida Progressive Caucus and hopefully a few DSA chapters for Oliver Larkin and Angie Nixon. And a few other amazing Florida candidates. We're going to be doing it at FAU August 9th. It's going to be big fun. It's going to be like the Shoykot rally that you went to, Vosh. That's basically us trying to do a big rally for the first time. So it'll be really cool.
It was a fun time.
We are also recently partnered with the Stop Killing Games to try and stop killing the internet and to fight age verification laws. And if all that organizing and volunteering sounds too daunting for you, then remember, Progressive Victory is actually a 51% a digital third space, a community space where you can come into the Discord server and volunteer or hang out in VCs, find friends for the first time like I did, or even just find people to play Destiny 2 with and long for better days where the game was alive.
They're trying to win over. They're getting the parallel on those, like you have to go outside and touch grass. If you're not going outside and touching grass, then you should at least be doing something productive online, you know?
Oh yeah, and if you are so socially anxious that you can't even bother to do that, you of course can become a dues-paying member of Progressive Victory and get a membership card. I've finally shipped out the first 400, only 1,000 more to go. We really need the money. Everybody is overworked at PV. We just got the first few employees and we're all working like 80 to 90 hour weeks. It's pretty fucking bad, and it is why we sometimes make some funny mistakes that we won't reference here. PV right now makes about $21,000 each month, and I have to pay another $15,000 a month just to make sure that the lights stay on. So if you want PV to not be under the auspices of big money tech, or big tech money me, donate to Progressive Victory at progress.win/member, get your membership card, and reduce my influence in the org. That is a fantastic way to do it.
Seriously, people got a phone bank. I know that people may not be super motivated right now against the Republicans because it kind of feels like there's a sort of a unity ticket, but there is real value in securing a stronger foothold, especially in the House. The NDAA that unites our military with Israel's. If Democrats were in a strong majority, that would not even get through the House, let alone the Senate. There's lots of stuff that's worth fighting over, especially like, you know, if Abdullah al-Sayed wins, you know the Dems are going to be real mad about it. It's going to be
they're going to freak the fuck out.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. And one more thing. Yesterday was PV's 4th birthday, so send us a birthday check. That's all. Okay, I'm going to leave now.
All right, get the fuck out of here.